What's up, Rock Flock? This is Rockhawk64, welcoming you back finally after over a year to Let's Play Advance Wars. First of all, as you can tell, we had some recording issues again, but another thing you'll notice, all of our missions are empty. This is because in the course of the year that I was unfortunately unable to update. I'll talk a little bit more about that later, just not too much into detail. Excuse me. But, anyways, in the course of that time, I lost my emulators, and, so basically when I reacquired them and went to continue this, I just said, no, I don't want to have to go through all this again. So yeah, that's why they're not done. And now this one here, Air Assault. I overlooked actually getting this recorded, possibly due to, new LP or excited that I'm actually doing a game, Let's Playing a game that I thoroughly enjoy and that, I think maybe a couple people have watched it. So, yeah, but basically I'm not going to worry about actually recording this mission just because the only unit that's introduced is the anti-air, which we have seen before. So we're just going to go right ahead here with the quote-unquote last mission. See, the special intel's actually locked until after you beat Fog of War. So this is seemingly the last mission of field training, but the next mission's not really too terribly long. So we'll go ahead and knock them both out this video. So with that, let's get started. And we have a very detailed briefing here from Nell. So here we are, Fog of War. And it looks terrible. While Nell explains it, I'm going to go ahead and just talk a little bit about what's been going on. Basically, what has happened is, what's been happening is, excuse me, well, first the laptop that I was recording from, had a fatal error that caused it to not want to run at all anymore. I even tried wiping the hard drive, reinstalling all the device software, everything like that. Nothing worked. And then shortly after that, things just kept going downhill for me. And I was unfortunately unable to actually get to a place where I could record an episode. So, that kind of went on until here we are. Everything, finally got things back on a decent heading and obviously have a laptop to record from. So, let's go ahead and capture this, even though we don't know who it belongs to. Excuse me. Yeah, Nell's right. You always want to approach with caution. Before I do that, one thing I want to explain about Fog of War, we can't see the units Olaf has deployed, obviously. But the AI is at an advantage because they can see all of these units. They can see all of our units. In fact, the only spaces that the AI is not programmed to see during Fog of War is woods and reefs. But Nell goes into a little bit more detail on that later, so I'll leave that to her. Now next we're going to see this neat little thing here. You see the infantry has a vision of 2. Put it on a mountain, its range increases to 5. And again you see that the whole you can't see into a forest kind of going on there above that medium tank that was just circled. See right there. Yeah, you have to be adjacent to woods and reefs before you can actually see into them. Which kind of makes sense because it's I'm sure if you've ever been walking around on a foggy day, I'm sure you can hardly see into a group of trees. Now here is the last unit we're going to be introduced to, the recon unit. Has really an unbeatable movement range. It can't cross mountains and rivers, obviously, like any other unit with tires and treads. Unbeatable vision, unmatched vision, unaided. Basically, if it weren't for the fact that infantry and mechs gained, essentially had 5 vision on mountains, nothing would be able to match this. The 5 vision on a recon unit, so they're really invaluable during Fog of War, so you really want to protect them. And that makes it hard considering how frail they are. So, yeah, basically... Oh, sorry about that. Had a little something come up on my laptop. But yeah, basically these recon units, they're very Oh yeah, another thing. Nell said that, hey, they can see anywhere. No, the same rules apply. Yeah, and like I was explaining, it's very frail units, so you really want to be careful about sending it into harm's way. Now here's what I was talking about. Watch this forest here as we move it to here. Still can't see into it. So no, they cannot see anywhere. I guess, but then again, now that I think about it, I guess Nell's talking more of, infantry and mech rely on mountains in order to see a good fair distance, whereas these things can just kind of go all over the place. And again, we can hide our units in there, and like I said, that's the only place the AI will not be able to see them at. And so the rest of this mission is up to us. Normally, this would be a problem here, especially considering look what's nearby, and well within attack range. However, we're not going to have to worry about that because we have a rocket, a medium tank, and 2 tanks that we can use to easily take out these units. Let's get started, shall we? And one more hit'll do the trick. Alright. Yeah, like I said, fairly easy to get rid of these. The rest of these units, we're gonna move like this. Now this mission is actually a fairly straightforward mission, and through the amount of time I've been playing this, and the number of times I've played this, I've discovered that actually the quickest way to complete this mission is with an HQ capture. And I'll show you why. Now before I continue though, there's a neat little pro tip when you're using Fog of War that I kind of forgot to mention. These cities, you see how they're always lit. Let's assume we have an infantry here, and Olaf moves it up here. We'll see that briefly flash right here. We'll see the unit, we'll obviously see the unit of what type it is. We'll also see the direction it's heading. So we can kind of get a general area of where it is. I mean, we won't know, for example, like, how many spaces it's moved. So, like, if we had a tank over here, he could easily move it up this way, and it would kind of trick us. But, at least you get a general area. Same thing with, like, a vision range. Like, let's assume that we had a unit cross an infantry's vision range of 2 here. Again, the same thing. The issue is you really got to pay attention to catch what type of unit it is, and if nothing else, that you'll know that there's a unit in the general vicinity. So let's go ahead with just a full-on assault. And now that I think about it, that probably wasn't such a great idea, but we'll see how this goes. Yeah, I think we ought to be able to finish it off. Yep. Okay, good. So, let's see. Move you there. Hang on a moment. Here's where we gotta start approaching with caution, because Olaf has an artillery hidden here and a rocket's hidden there. I'm more concerned about the rockets. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you're safe going right there. Oh, come on. And let's go and finish this off. Finish him! Yes, we're pulling Mortal Kombat into the world of Advanced Wars. And we really don't need that city. And we're gonna wanna move you up here, move you over here, move you here, and move you here. Again, fairly straightforward mission. All we have to do now is just destroy the 2 ranged units, and get rid of the artillery and the rocket. Well, the artillery and the rockets obviously are the ranged units, and get rid of the infantry, and we're golden. Fortunately, Olaf is making this very easy on us. Cannon fodder. That's what we've got here. Pure bona fide cannon fodder. Oh, why did I select his unit for? I can't move his unit. It would be nice if I could, but I can't. You know, just think of how easy this game would be if you could control your opponent's movements. You just sit there and just like have them be sitting ducks or something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah, curses. Yeah, that doesn't bode well. Yeah, that was a stupid move too. Again, I got a little reckless. I'm gonna be drawing those units back. Don't worry. Maybe. I don't know, it just depends on how this turns out. You're not really useful for much of anything, so why don't I use you to scout this out so I can lay the hurting on this? Really lay the hurting on it, apparently. Let's see. Yeah, you're going to retreat to there. You're going here. And we'll do some decent damage to you. And the next turn, we might be able to actually go ahead and head towards the HQ. That's not going to do much of anything. This might. Oh, I try not to lose units. I always end up losing at least one. And you know, not that one really bothers your score all that much, but you know, a unit lost is still a unit lost. Yeah, so we're just gonna obliterate everything else. And actually, we will be able to move in, so within 2 days, we'll have the HQ captured. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually go here, drop you off, move you down here. And here's why an HQ capture works best. That thing, that lander, will sponge pretty much every ground attack you have except for your rockets, and it'll take us still a couple more days to get the rockets over here. Especially considering we used it to fire this turn. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Olaf can't do anything anymore. Let's see. Yeah, see, it would have taken us 2 turns to get it into... So see, we would have just gotten it into range this turn, not counting being able to fire on it. So, yeah, again, an HQ capture is quicker, but only just barely. And so with this, we've taken back actually most of our Orange Star territory. But Olaf is right, the final battle is just yet to come. So, Nell thanks us, which you're welcome, Nell. So we'll be leading on our own, finally! Chance to prove our worth. Tactician Brutus will show his worth. With a partner? Did I hear her right? Yeah, apparently I did. Who's the little brat? Actually, this brat is probably one of the most well-balanced COs, and, you know, he has a nice CO ability. His CO power, I really do enjoy his CO power. Comes in handy. So we basically now have to team up with Andy. There's supposed to be this little exit cutscene that doesn't quite get shown here because, again, that's a one-time only thing. But basically it tells us, you know, it's up to you and Andy to get Orange Star back. So it's up to us and Andy to get Orange Stars, the rest of Orange Star's territory back. So we're just going to go over this special intel. I'm going to make this pretty quick. I'm actually going to do a little bit of the explaining myself without Nell, and then I'm going to let her show us a couple of tips and tricks. So we're just going to go ahead and skip past that. By pressing start, you can skip past that, past the text. These are ports. These is where we can build naval units, and this is also where they can rest and recover their fuel and HP and all that. Base is the same except with ground units. One thing to note when you're building on these, you have to scroll down in order to see the full list of available units because there's obviously so many more ground units. And an airport does the same thing except for planes and choppers like our friend the fighters here. One thing you should note, anytime you have a ground unit on a city, HQ, or base, and it recovers HP, same, you have gas and HP, you have, well, everything really, HP, gas, and ammunition. You have a naval unit on a port that recovers HP, gas, and ammunition, or an airplane on an airport that recovers HP, gas, and ammunition, or some combination that costs you funds for each unit. So that's something to keep in mind. Now Nell's going to show us a few movement tricks. So we're going to go ahead and select the fighter. So let's assume we want to move that fighter there. Normally, again, just a straight line. Now let's say we knew that there was an enemy there, like Nell's telling us that there is. Obviously, if we move in a straight line, we're going to run into it. So basically what she's saying here is the unit's going to follow the red arrow. So there you see the unit, watch this basically. See this red arrow path? This is basically the path the unit's going to take. So we can actually circumvent, as you see, we can circumvent the infantry, now that we know what it is. And here's another thing. Let's say we made that move and then we press the B button to cancel. That still uses our fuel. So taking this fighter, for example, if you move it 9 spaces one direction and then move it 8 in another, that just costs you 17 units of fuel, not 8. So actually to end this, we're going to end the turn, but there's one more thing I want to show off. We're going to go ahead and skip past this. Not the options. Unit. Shows us a list of all of our units. I'll be using this a lot, particularly on the larger maps, to see kind of what we have. We can use the unit command to change unit order, and we can also press the A button on the unit, and it'll move the cursor to that unit. We can sort the units by type, HP, gas, and rounds. So see here, type, HP, gas, rounds. One more thing, the L button does not work, but basically the L button on larger maps is it'll automatically move the cursor to units you haven't moved yet. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I do apologize for being so long in updating. But this has been Rockhawk64. This has been the final field training episode of Let's Play Advance Wars. Next time, we will actually start the main campaign, so just remember, guys, to have fun with life and enjoy it too. Peace out, guys.